Hey freshmen, I hope everything's going well for you. I hope you had a good first week in online learning. Lots of stuff to learn, and it's great because we're getting better all the time. I have been making all sorts of videos, and I'm getting better every time I make a new video. So I hope you guys are getting better with online learning too. That's one thing I really think you guys should pay attention to. I know it's frustrating sometimes. We have all this online learning stuff. Believe me, your teachers feel the same way. I've talked to a lot of them about it. But it's kind of cool. Like, we're doing things we never would have done before. Think about what you've learned on the computer in the last week. And, if you haven't learned very much, I don't know what's going on, because like maybe you're just a master at that stuff, but it's pretty impressive the kind of stuff we're able to do with online learning and how we can keep going as a school. So hurrah for that. Before we get going, I wanted to share just a quick message with you guys. Something that I really like, and this quote has always just been one that I've just have loved, and it comes from one of my favorite musicians, Bob Marley. I love myself some good reggae, Bob Marley, Africa Unite, whatever it might be, okay? And Bob Marley has his problems for sure, but one thing I loved about him is that he really did truthfully try to focus on the positive. Now, that might be because he did drugs a lot, but I think he was also just an optimist. I think he really truthfully wanted to do good things for people, okay? Despite all that, like whatever your feelings are about him, this is, I just think, a great quote from him. As we're going through this COVID-19 stuff, life can be difficult, it can be hard, but I think what's great is that we get to determine the outlook and the perspective that we have of things. And I love this quote from him. He says, "You just can't live that negative way." You know what I mean? Make way for the positive day, because it's a new day. And I love that because, guys, as we are going through some tough times, and as things are difficult, we get to decide how we control that. Okay? It's been hard for me, like with work and online stuff and just my family, and just being worried about my little girls and about, my in-laws who are a little bit older. Those are all things that I'm worried about. But each day I get to determine when I wake up how my day is going to be. And I get to make way for the positive day. And I just ask you guys to do the same thing. Some tips that might help you. Every morning I wake up, I have the same routine. I get up, I exercise a little bit. I go into, get prepared for the rest of the day. I make my bed. And I look at my goal list of what I got to do that day. And I think that by doing that, it helps you be more happy. Because when you're productive, that's when you're happy. When you're not productive, you're not really super happy because you can't feel good about yourself. Okay? And a lot of you, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, man, most of you guys are just hardworking kids who just do, this COVID-19 meant that you were going to go work a second job, do your school stuff and go work another job. And that's what I love about the schools. You guys are hard workers, okay? So keep up the good work. And I hope with online learning that we can be better at it, that we can keep working together at it. And if you have any questions, you can just talk to me, okay? So let's kind of go over your week and what it's going to look like. And remember, so I sent that message out. If you didn't get it, I said, you know what? I've just moved everything off another week. What I mean by that is you now have another week to get everything done that was due this week. Okay, and I do want you guys to start turning stuff in, but you guys basically have a whole week. Okay, now I wanted to kind of go over this a little bit more in detail. You got your Papa Book rubric and overview right here, so that way if you need anything at all, the rubric's there, the overview's there with my video and whatever, it's all right there. Okay, and I think I don't know when we talked about the project. Did I say it was the 10th? I'm not sure. Anyway, don't worry about it too much, but let's make sure we're getting that project getting going, and we're trying to get it done by kind of early as we can. Okay, here's the reading guide for Unit 7. Here's the quiz for Unit 7, Section 1. If you guys need me to open that back up, let me know. Any of the quizzes, okay, let me know. And then here was your notes for Section 1, okay? So with the notebooks, how I want that to work. If you can, print off the vocab and Hall of Fame. That's the easiest thing that we can do. If you can't, there's a couple other things you can do. So I'm clicking on the vocab here, and some of you guys have struggled with this, and truthfully, it's kind of difficult sometimes, okay? So let's just see what it looks like. So right now, ooh, that looks terrible, right? It's all in bad formatting, okay? But if you come up here and just say open with Google Docs, it's going to put it back into the right order, okay? It just doesn't like the way that it's formatted right now there. But when you put it back here, it'll be formatted just fine, okay? So here it is. Look at everything's formatted pretty good. Treaty of Verdun doesn't look great, but you know, we're going to do what we can do. So we've got that, and it's just that one page, okay? And what you're going to do now, after I hit open in Google Docs, is I'm going to come over here to File. I'm going to say make a copy. Now the reason I'm going to do that is because right here, what you see, that's my version. And if I were to give you editable rights, if I said you could edit that, you would change it for everyone. So when you went to go type in something, everyone else would see the same thing. Okay, so we don't want that. And so instead, let's say, you know, I've made my copy. Now the thing I'm making, it's mine now officially. So Mr. Gore's copy of, you know, whatever. And the cool thing is you can label this wherever you want it. You can go into your drive and you can say, this is where the folder I want it saved at, okay? I'm going to send you guys out a link, hopefully tonight, of a folder I want everything turned in. Now, if you emailed me something already, don't worry about it, okay? It's there. It's fine. But from now on, any assignments that you want to turn in, I'm just going to have you guys put it into that folder. What that'll look like is you'll get an email and it'll say, hey, here's a folder that Mr. Gore shared. You're going to click on it and you're going to say, make a copy. So when you get this folder, you're going to say, I want to make a copy of it. And when you do that, you're just going to add it into your drive just on one of your home pages, okay? Just like I just showed you here, okay? So that'll be that. And if you can, again, like I said, please print it. If you can't print it, I totally get that. That's no problem. You can still edit it digitally as well. Sorry, I shouldn't have unclicked that. And so there's a couple ways you can do this. Okay, I am going to give you guys permission. If you cannot print it, then go ahead and either do one of these two things. Either one, just open it up and edit it in Google Docs and then just share it with me that way. I really would rather not to do it that way, and here's why. Because if you share it with me, that's just another thing I have to look at. And so instead of looking at your whole notebook at one point, I get 30 of these little vocab things that I have to check. And when you turn that in, that's just one piece of something that's bigger, okay? So there's that. Or you can just take the word itself, put the definition in your vote, like write out, put medieval, then put the definition, and then draw a picture next to it in your notebook. You don't have to have the actual, you know, worksheet itself here, okay? So either one of those is fine with me. Again, if you cannot access that, okay? The map activity, okay? So if you clicked on this, first off, it's going to bring in 3 more links, okay? So you have the actual map and then you have the pictures I downloaded to it, okay? It looks like most of you guys got this, but here's the actual activity, this is the worksheet, and here's the maps, okay? So when I click on that, it's going to pop up a picture. I scanned these in from the atlas that I was looking at, and you guys should be able to look at it. You don't even really need to download it, print it, anything like that. You should just be able to look at it from here, okay? It does suck that it's halfway like that. You can zoom in. I don't know if you knew that, but you can zoom into it so you can see things a little bit easier, okay? Whatever you want, okay? If you really want to, you could open that up with Google Docs, but I don't know why you'd want to, okay? So hopefully you've got that. And again, this is due Friday. A lot of you guys already have it done, but it's due Friday if you don't. I just wanted to, you know, I don't want to be overly working you guys, and I felt like that, like maybe you guys were feeling that way. Nobody said that really, but I felt like you guys might be feeling that way, and so I wanted to kind of make things a little bit slower for you, okay? So again, open Google Docs, make a copy, add to my drive, and then you can edit this all yourself, okay? And so look at it says use your textbook pages 181, 83, and 84, and then use the atlas pages 64 through 68, okay? And so you should have access to all that, and then you'll just go ahead and when I send that folder with you, to you, I should say, you will go ahead and add that into that folder. Or if you've already emailed it to me or shared it with me, you're fine, okay? You don't need to do it again or anything like that. Okay, so there's that. The Black Death, okay? Now, I know some people were saying the video link wasn't working. Other people said it did work, so I don't know what's going on. That could be a lot with your settings on your computer, or it could be something that, like, I have no idea. Anyway, so I added the video itself just in the folder as well, just on Unified Classroom, so you don't even have to click on that. You just click play, and it's worked for most people I've taught to. If it's not working, refresh your screen, see if it'll work again. This is the worksheet, okay? So hopefully this is making sense. I've not had really anybody ask me questions about how to do the Black Death stuff, but if it's not making sense, please just let me know. You're looking at basically a bunch of different, there's a bunch of theories out there about how the Black Death started and what caused it, right? And so what you're doing here is you're looking at the different exhibits, and you're going to basically try to determine which one of these exhibits makes the most sense. Okay, so which one of these is correct, do you think? And you can open that up in Google Slides if you'd like, and you can edit it there. Okay, you can then get all the information's right here, Black Death information. Okay, so it's got summary, kind of how to do it, the theories that there are there, and then it just basically starts, and it basically is just, match the information. Sorry, it's still downloading. Match the information up to, so here's the description of the Black Death, modern bubonic plague. Okay, so this one is about the cause of death, disease. This is a medical examiner of somebody and like what it would have looked like, what they died of, and it's going to compare it to the Ebola virus. This is like about the doctors and this crazy mask they wore that was really scary, right? So you're just going to look through this stuff. It's not really hard, and you're just going to be determining, does this make sense? Do I agree with that? And as you're looking through it, you'll just be, and you don't have to print any of this stuff or even turn any of this in. You could open it in Google Slides if you want to, but again, I would just look at it this way. Maybe take some notes about it and stuff, and just kind of go through this, okay? So you got your different exhibits, and everything's there, okay? So I know it would be nice if it was organized a little bit differently there, but hopefully it's making sense to you. If not, let me know. I can help you out with that, okay? Okay, so that itself is due Friday as well. You guys have had a whole week to do it, so it's just, you got another week to do it, okay? You got section 2 here. Don't think we need to go into that again. We already talked about section 1, so just make sure you do that in your notebook. Okay, that was a quiz. You can open it up if you want to. Joan of Arc obituary. Okay, so Joan of Arc, pretty impressive woman. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about her. And basically, you're going to be writing an obituary. If you've ever looked at a newspaper and seen the obituaries, it basically just tells who's passed away and what their legacy was, who they were, and that's what you're doing here with Joan of Arc. Except you've got to decide: do you think she was a witch, a saint, a warrior, a patriot, or just an ordinary girl? You pick a picture that you think if you think she's a warrior, then you want a picture of her fighting. If you think she's an ordinary girl, just get a basic one. A saint, maybe she's got a halo above her and some doves or something like that. And anyway, you're going to do this research, and after you've researched about her, you're going to decide, I think she's one of these things. Remember, in your obituary, you need to be having a claim. I think she was a witch. What argument? Why do you believe she was a witch? Well, because she, did these things. What evidence do you have of that? Well, this person saw this once. And, okay, how does that fit your claim again? Okay, there's my explanation. So this is the obituary right here. And again, you can just share that with me when you have that done. It'll be due Friday in that folder if you haven't already turned it in. Okay, there's unit 3. Now this one's big. And so I mean, if you got all this other stuff done, this will be nice because you have a whole week to do this. But it's a little bit bigger of an activity. And a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about now. It's a lot of work, okay? And again, it's one that I really like because it is a ton of work. Sorry I didn't put them. I wish I could control how the attachments were added there. But this is the worksheet right here, Thinking Like a Historian, okay? There's documents. These are samples, so these are not ones you have to do. It's just how to do them. It's the ones I did with you. Okay, so it's just samples. Then here's A through D, and here's E through F. And I actually did the first 2 there, okay? So you just have to do the rest of those, okay? Again, you're just going to turn this in through Google Drive on that folder I shared with you. I've not had anybody turn that in yet, so turn that into me in the folder I share out with you, okay? Unit 3's quiz. I'll open it back up if you need me to. Or it's actually, I'm sorry, it's open until tomorrow. So make sure you get that reading guide done. And then here's your notes for section 4. And then here's the Bayeux Tapestry. And so I want to explain this a little bit because sometimes it can not make a lot of sense, okay? So in the Bayeux Tapestry, it's a cloth. Tapestry is kind of like a picture through needle and thread, okay? And it shows the important events between a guy named Harold and a duke named William the Conqueror, okay? And the first link is just called Bayeux Tapestry. And I just want you guys to look at the images, okay? Now, the reason this is important is because this is what a historian would have gotten. They would never have had somebody say, this is what this means, or this is what this says, okay? They would have just had this tapestry. So in your notebook, you want to write in the simplified and summarize what the pictures actually represent, okay? Now, to finish this off, you're going to look at the activity by writing a paragraph outlining what was difficult in the activity and how close were you in your original interpretation, because the actual interpretation is right here where it says simplified, okay? And what would be difficult as a historian trying to interpret these primary sources. So if I click on this, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really cool. I went to Bayeux, France, where this is at, and I got to go look at it. I studied this thing for like 2 weeks in depth, and so I wanted to finally see it, okay? And so here's the Bayeux Tapestry. And you don't need to do, let's see, that's a lot of images, so you don't need to do all of them, but like you can just pick, like, let's say you pick 6 of the best images, 6 of them, okay? Now there is one image I want you guys to do, and if you've done this, don't worry about it because I haven't told you, okay? That's my bad. I should have been more clear about this. There is one image, if you haven't done it already, I would like you to do. And it's going to be, really it's the centerpiece of the whole Bayeux Tapestry. And it's right here, I think. Nope, it's this one, sorry. This one's important too, but this is one I want everyone to do. This is on page 11 of this, so I want everyone to look at this one and determine what it is, because this is really the whole center of the whole thing that the Bayeux Tapestry is about, is right here. Again, if you've done it, don't worry about it. But if you haven't, I want everyone to do at least this one. And pick a total of 6, so that would be, you just need to pick 5 more, and just look at the pictures, zoom in again, okay, and try to see what they say, okay? Or what they stand for, okay? So you've got that. And then once you've done that, you can click on this other one, and you can click and say what it's about, okay? You can actually get the interpretation, and then you're going to finish off the activity saying how close was your interpretation to it. Okay, so that's everything there for Unit 7. I haven't opened up Unit 8 at all yet because I just don't want you guys to worry about it. I want this just completely being done so far for the next week, okay? Let me know if I can help. Let me know what I can do to help you, okay? I'd love to make life easier for you. I know that you are busy people, and I know that life can get busy. So let me know what I can do to help you, and I would definitely be available. Okay. I hope you are all right. I hope your family's all right, and just know I care about you guys and I miss you. Okay. Thanks.